A family in Colorado is building a blueprint at Boyd Lake in hopes of saving lives after theirs was changed in 30 minutes. Here's today's Warrior Way on staying alert on the water.
So from throw bags to rescue ropes.
It's equipment firefighters don't want to use, but are ready to unravel should a day on the water go south.
People go to these places to recreate, and sometimes they don't mean to get in the water, but they end up getting in the water.
Unexpectedly, and most of the time without a life jacket. And that's the rescue call firefighters like Lieutenant Sean Cummings have a hard time responding to because it often leads to a drowning that could have been prevented.
It's impactful and tremendously sad for the responders. We want to be able to help people, and typically when we go on these types of things, it's their worst day and their family's worst day.
That day for the Amelia family,
this is Drennan,
was June 6th, 2019.
the absolute worst.
Drennan, just shy of his 13th birthday, had just entered his 7th summer of competitive swimming. One day before he drowned in 3 feet of water at a pool party. An autopsy report didn't find why he drowned, but one thing was apparent.
This was a lifeguarded pool, and he was found about 5 feet away from an unoccupied lifeguard stand.
To train lifeguards to be vigilant and raise awareness about life jackets, the Amelias created Drennan's Dreams Foundation. Their latest project, building a first-of-its-kind life jacket loaner station at Boyd Lake, a way to make access to safety equipment more equitable.
Drowning is one of those things where it's something that happens to other people until you find out that you're other people. And just for people to go through that, we don't ever want anybody to have to go through that again.
Yeah, you feel for the Amelia family. The family's trying to have that loaner station open at Boyd Lake before Memorial Day, and it's going to serve as a blueprint for CPW to install more of these life-saving stations at other reservoirs and parks. But Drennan's story really illustrates that, accomplished swimmer or not. I mean, he was entering his 7th season of competitive swimming. Anyone can drown. It's doable. He drowned in 3 feet of water, and so it's so important to have a life jacket on hand, and that's why it's going to be so important once they have this station installed that anyone can have access to one.
And he was 13, right, when this happened?
Just shy of his 13th birthday.
People think of these drownings as like 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, but 13 and a kid that can swim.
Right.
So again, it's just about being vigilant, and you have to be your own lifeguard if your kid is there too.
Yeah.
Like as a mom, it's one of my biggest fears.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to think about that. And it's different in pools and lakes. Lakes in Colorado, I mean, it can be 100 degrees outside and the lake can be 40 degrees.
Right.
I mean, and your body just can't absorb that shock, and a lot of people succumb to that. That's a tough deal here in this state.
And Drennan's dad was just talking about how important it is to know about drowning and prevention, because he said that when you leave a hospital with a baby, you need to have a car seat that's functioning. They don't let you leave without making sure, but yet no one talks about life jackets or drowning prevention, especially with toddlers. It's one of the leading causes of death, and why it's so important to be aware and to know how to swim. That's always the #1 things pediatricians want parents to know. Teach your kids how to swim.
Yeah. Well, good for them that they're doing that. I mean,
definitely turning things around.
Absolutely.
Yeah. By the way, if you have a story idea for our Warrior Way, you can drop me a note. You can nominate a warrior in our community who you feel deserves recognition, and you can do so at 9news.com/warriorway. Then join us here on 9 News Wednesday mornings for a new Warrior story.